If you're considering a move to San Francisco, you already know the reasons why you want to be here. From job opportunities, the climate and weather, culture, diversity, food, and much more. However, you'll also want a local's take on the reasons you shouldn't. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but here are some things that you should know about San Francisco. Number one is homelessness in San Francisco. Homelessness in the city has become a major discussion point. It has correlated to increased crime, and according to San Francisco Chronicle, as of February 2022, there are over 7,800 homeless people living in the city. It is an unfortunate situation, and the top three causes of people becoming homeless are number one, job loss, number two, alcohol and drug abuse, and number three, due to eviction. Some positive news, the city has allocated more and more funding towards homelessness, roughly $1.1 billion in 2021. Number two is crime in San Francisco. Like cities across the US, San Francisco has been struggling with the perceptions of rising crime, an issue that has economic implications as it struggles to bring back office workers and tourists. As of March, there was a poll by the Bay Area Council, an economic development association, found that more than half of respondents felt San Francisco wasn't safe, with nearly 2/3 saying that they wanted to avoid downtown areas because of the crime. Number three is the expensive cost of living in the city. According to NerdWallet, San Francisco ranks at number three for the most expensive city to live in, that is behind New York City and Honolulu. The median two-bedroom apartment for rent is over $4,000, and the median home price for a three-bedroom house is over $1.2 million. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, low income in San Francisco is an individual making about $82,000 and a family making a little under $117,000. Income standards are high in San Francisco, and people may see a trend and feel as if they're on a mouse wheel. Having income coming in, however, having it going out as a monthly expense doesn't feel good. Number four is housing costs. We highlighted earlier that the median household prices from NerdWallet. However, if we look at more recent data from 2022, the median sales price of properties in San Francisco is currently at $1.5 million and above. With mortgage rates soaring, although we do expect prices to come down some, San Francisco in relative terms may be unaffordable for many looking to set their roots here. With that said, we help families navigate that decision-making process as well. Number five, property taxes. The good and the bad of property taxes in San Francisco and the area is this. It is 1.1% of your total purchase price. This may discourage some people from selling due to lower property taxes they're paying from years ago, and this may be perceived as a larger line item for some who are looking to purchase a first home. Number six is traffic on major freeways during workdays. Although there has been a population decline recently with the work from home movement, traffic is still prominently an issue before and after work hours. Number seven is parking in the city, and it's horrible. Parking is notoriously bad in San Francisco as there are limited street parking spots depending on where you go. Also, guaranteed parking at parking lots costs about $5 per hour on average, and tourists are advised not to leave anything in their cars because it might encourage theft. Number eight is weather. Weather can be cold during the summer. Carl the Fog visits San Francisco on a frequent basis. With the clouds and fog comes the wind, and winds can reach north of 15 miles per hour during some afternoons, which make the Bay Area cooler. Number nine is sales tax in the city and the city mandates. The current sales tax in San Francisco is 8.6%. Some neighboring counties such as San Mateo have an even higher sales tax, over 9%. Also in San Francisco, there is a percentage of health mandate tax when you dine out that's automatically added to your restaurant bill. The city ordinance requires large employers provide health care for their employees. It is an added expense that you as the consumer would have to contribute to. Number 10 is airport noise in some parts of town. SFO is located about 20 minutes south of the city. However, occasionally you'll hear and see planes fly overhead. For the most part, the planes are quiet and quite high by the time it reaches San Francisco. However, it is something you may consider as you move to a more urban area similar to San Francisco. Number 11 is public transportation is not clean. The two main options for public transportation in the city is Muni and BART. Unfortunately, both are very old and not very clean. BART stations provide shelter, bathroom services, and tend to be begging locations for homelessness. Number 12 is San Francisco is located near the San Andreas Fault. California typically has a big earthquake in some frequency, and we are currently overdue. With that said, the minority of homeowners locally carry earthquake insurance, just a fun fact. Number 13 is San Francisco is heavily tech and biotech driven. Being a bigger metro and area, there are definitely many job opportunities. However, the local markets are greatly affected by how the tech and biotech industries are doing. In times of low revenue multiples, tech companies tend to lean towards layoffs, and some have gone bankrupt through the years. Growth alone is not enough to sustain a business model like that, and during down cycles, companies need to be profitable, which affects the local market. As a San Francisco native who still lives locally, there are these items that came up as I thought about what would influence a person's decision on moving to the San Francisco Bay Area. It is easy to isolate reasons why you shouldn't move to San Francisco, and it sounds like a monstrous list. However, I believe there are countless reasons why people like myself still decide to stay here. What are your thoughts about living here? And if you're thinking about moving here, what did I miss or what would you like to know? We'd love to hear from you.